Allison and Mark in the afternoon. Now, it is Black History Month, and so I'm going in. Okay, so I want to do a show one day called Hard Conversations, right? And so in this show, I would interview people who are controversial. Charlemagne, Joe Rogan, and he's not really controversial. Anyway, but having a real conversation, something that we tend to not have in America, by design. These thoughts are my thoughts and not those of Allison or anybody else. So this is Marc Clarke's thoughts, okay? So in the middle of Black History Month, I just want to stop and say, let's just break it down. America, one of the ways that America has always controlled the narrative and controlled the people, one of the ways they control the people is by controlling the narrative. And that narrative is not giving you the real history. From Columbus, which we all know was a farce, to, again, now the movement to extinguish critical race theory because our kids shouldn't feel bad. Man, that is a whack. It's the wackest narrative ever, and it's so obvious that it seems to expose what's really going on, and it's hiding the truth. The reason Carter G. Woodson created Black History Month was so the light would be shown on the contributions that African Americans made to America. But, the reason that is because in America, they don't teach history. That's one thing. In other countries, at least, they do teach history, world history. And so the Africans' involvement in the world is a part of the history of the world. Now, why? You say in America, do they not? Because America is all about, and not just America, but the world. It's about controlling the people. Because if you told the real story, it's harder to control the people. And then the people might unite and then really put democracy in effect. They might really demand that their leadership gives them what they need. Education, healthcare, opportunities. And not just black people are disenfranchised, and not just black people are affected by the lies. Everybody's affected. They just don't know it. So a white family Trump supporter in pick a red state votes against their own self-interest, education, healthcare, jobs, because they're focused on racism that's sparked by the leadership of a Trump and the talking points that those people use to control. So, yeah, you're out there protesting Colin Kaepernick kneeling, and you're a veteran with no legs, but you need to be protesting the fact that veterans don't have the best health care ever. You gave your legs, you give your life, and you have a crappy healthcare system for veterans. But you ain't protesting about that. You focused on Colin Kaepernick. You focused on your black neighbor and not focused on what you ain't got. And so that's why, why would they suppress the real history? Because that's why. Because white supremacy uses it to control, right? They use it to control. The NFL ain't gonna be no black owners because they don't have to. They don't have to. Are people gonna stop watching football unless you hire a black head coach? No. Are people gonna stop watching football unless you put fair practices in hiring black coaches? No. Are black people gonna stop watching football because ain't no black representation in management? No. So why would the owners ever change anything? They don't have to. You can talk about all you want to talk about. You can protest kind of for a day. You ain't stopping watching football, and because of that, it ain't going to change, right? And so, yes, the hard conversation about America. And again, some people, that's a controversy. That's a conspiracy. It ain't conspiracy, dude. This is power. This is white power. And I'm not talking about, see, that's what happens when you say that, people instantly think the Klan. No, I'm talking about real power. The Klan, they are symptoms of white power. your neighbor or your friend or Trump-ers, those are symptoms of white. They're pawns used. Candace Owens, symptom. Larry Elder, symptom of white power. These are pawns used in the game. Rush Limbaugh, Clarence Thomas, his wife, who's a Trumper. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. Can you imagine if Michelle Obama spoke at Founders Day in Chicago, her hometown, talking about how the Nation of Islam is the only organization that saved black men? The receipts show it. The receipts show it. A brother who was going to be a criminal cleaned up his life and lives a righteous life. That's the only organization that's done that. Michelle Obama says that. Are you kidding me? But a Supreme Court justice wife speaks at basically a damn white supremacy organization, and ain't nobody saying nothing. Is it in the news every day? Have you even seen the story? It's buried somewhere. So don't talk to me about conspiracy theory, baby. This is America. White power. Allison and Mark in the afternoon.